o'clock. All right, so today I'm going to talk about how you can use Kahoot for some creative assessment and bring a little bit of playfulness into the classroom on a day-to-day basis. I'm an instructional designer at the Teaching and Learning Center at the Warrington College of Business. I've been there since 2013. I've also been an instructor, both on ground and online, since 2003. So I kind of come from both sides of delivering higher ed stuff. And then I also love researching how to leverage technology to support learner engagement in blended and online learning environments. So basically, you might not be familiar with Kahoot, but to sort of give you a rough overview before I jump into things, it's a learning games app, and it offers 4 different options right now. First up is the quiz option, and that's where it's multiple choice. You pick a correct answer, and between each question, you can have multiple questions. There's a scoreboard, and that lets students know whether they're first, and that injects a bit of competition into it. And so that's really great for introducing concepts, reviewing them, that kind of thing. Next up is the survey option, and that is, they're all kind of similar, but this one doesn't involve points, and there's no scoreboard. And essentially, you have different numbers of answers, and students will answer options. Students will answer them, and then it will give a bar graph. So students can, maybe you're introducing a concept, maybe you're reviewing something, and students can then see, oh, okay, where do I fit in that bar graph, and that can spur conversation and discussion. Speaking of discussions, they also have the discussion option, and that is really designed to allow you to really quickly, maybe you're getting a sense that you don't have people as sort of attention, or maybe you're not sure if they're really getting something. And this is designed to let an instructor pop in really quick to Kahoot, create a quick question, and with these you can only do one discussion at a time versus these where you can do a series, and this allows you to jump right in, see where they're at in terms of their understanding, and then, as they say here, facilitate debate, so maybe lead to conversation around that topic. And finally, this is a different game option. It's called the jumble, and that's where you can have students put words or letters or numbers into a particular order. And basically how it works is that, pretend that this is, say, the screen right here. And so here's the question. You could have a video here, you could have an image here, something like that. There is where the countdown is, and this is a quiz question, so there's a countdown, and you can pick what the countdown amount is. And then each of the possible answers are associated with a color and a shape. And so then when students go to their device, which could be a tablet, a phone, or a laptop, that kind of thing, they would then pick the color and shape that corresponds to the correct answer, which of course is this one. And they would answer it, and then based on how quickly they answered and whether they had the correct answer, they would get their ranking. So ways we've used, and I co-teach a business communication course over at the Hebner College of Business, and the ways we've used Kahoot, and this is the most recent way, is that we used it to review and reinforce some of the concepts around cover letters, because we're doing job application materials. And so this is my co-teacher's dog, Tucker, and he features prominently in our Kahoots. Essentially, we were sort of reinforcing the idea that the best greeting, if they don't know, especially if they don't know the person's name, is Dear Hiring Committee. These other ones won't do. And luckily, most people got that right. Here's another one with Tucker. And this basically, this allowed us to not have a one right answer, but multiple right answers, because all of the above is correct. This is one where one answer is correct, so don't simply repeat your resume. That one, we wanted to make sure that we reinforced that, and then allowed us to talk sort of from these. Don't be sure not to use slang, and really kind of use that to spur discussion. And then this is not Tucker. This is a sourdough biscuit I made, and we just wanted to remind them that we're going to be doing in-class drafting, and that they really need to bring their laptops. Although I was really heartened to see that a lot of them actually voted for charming me with sourdough stories. So this gives you sort of an idea of how you could use Kahoot, the quiz option, and it's kind of fun because you get to personalize things and bring some humor into the classroom. So I talked a little bit about Kahoot, now I'm going to talk about why you might want to think about using it. It's fast to register for. It's fast to create the Kahoots, and yes, they're called Kahoots. They're fast to play, and then you get to see the results right away. So there's a lot of instant gratification there. It's fun. So there's friendly competition. The students who, especially those who are competition oriented, really get into it. And it brings that sense of play into some dry concepts like cover letters. It does facilitate whole class discussion. So, you let, especially, and it brings maybe the introverts in there who are just sort of sitting back there and absorbing. It allows everyone to kind of get their opinion or their idea or their take on something right up there, and then you can all talk about it and reflect on it. It's device agnostic, which is great. So, you can use laptops, phones, any really sort of device that that they can get onto a browser. It does enable access via both browser and app. So if you say you're going to be using Kahoot a lot, you could encourage your students to get the app, and it makes things even simpler. And then it offers a variety of game options that we talked about, as well as personalization, which is fun too, because then you can kind of let your students get to know you a little better, or your dog a little better, or your predilection for baking a little bit better. And what's fun is that it's also collaborative. So especially if you're teaching a class where other people are teaching something similar, you can share your Kahoots with other Kahoot users and then have them share with you. And this is near and dear to my heart. You can keep things really nicely organized. You can put them into groups. You can favorite them so that they're easy to come back to. And finally, it's free, which is really great. Free for you, free for students. And when we had students use it in class and we asked them, hey, what do you think about this? We're going to be talking about it at Interface. And one student, they were like, oh yeah, it's fun. And then I hear from the back of the room, like deep from someone's soul, and it's free. So clearly they are sick of paying for things. And so that's another element that's really nice. How to get started. So maybe I've convinced you that Kahoot is something really exciting and you're like, yay. All right, so how you can get started in using it. You can create your account at getkahoot.com. This is on the handout, so don't worry about that. You'll then sign in, confusingly enough, at create.kahoot.it, and that's where you go to actually create them. And then you create a new Kahoot, and you pick one of those 4 options to create the Kahoot. Once you're in the classroom and you've created all your happy fancy Kahoots, you're going to open the Kahoot or Kahoots you wish to deploy, and then you're going to click the play button. And I'm going to show you guys this at the end when I have you guys, those of you who are ready for it, to try out using Kahoot. And then you adjust any settings you want to adjust last minute, and you can do both classic and team mode, which is kind of fun, particularly if you want to really up the competition, is to let students do it as a team. And then the Kahoot displays the game's pin, which if they have the app, they just put in the pin. If you have the browser option, then they have to navigate there. But either way, the pin allows them to get access to it. And then they put in a nickname. It does prompt them for a nickname, but if you do want them to use it for attendance and participation, you probably want them to use something like their real name so you can track them down. Although if you have a big class and it's not Canvas integrated, that could be potentially kind of challenging to match up. But basically, that's it. Pretty simple, 7 steps. So some final tips before I have you guys try it out. You can visit create.kahoot.it for an overview of the different game types, and they have examples, which is kind of cool because not only can you get sort of information on it, but you can actually see how people have used it, which can really help spur some ideas, as can the Kahoot's blog, which is at kahoot.com/blog. And that gives you tips, use cases, again, getting you thinking about how people, and it's popular in K-12, which is still, really inspiring because they have to really sort of do a lot to get students to master concepts in different ways, and so it can be really inspiring. You can click Find Kahoots once you've logged in at create.kahoot.it to locate, duplicate, and adapt them. So say you find some, then you can actually say, hey, I want to pull this into my account, and then you can actually adapt them and change them and edit them, which just makes things pretty streamlined for you. And then you can generate a downloadable Excel file for analysis and grading. So they do all this stuff, but you don't have to just get it all in the system and look at it there. It generates some reports, and they're appropriately colorful in the Kahoot purple. And you can see that it gives you some basic information here as well as overall performance. And this, I guess, gives students the opportunity to give input on how fun their Kahoot experience was, and so that's there. And then along the bottom here, there's final scores and then information on each of the questions that were asked. And then here would be final scores. So here's the different names. And so if you actually had your students put in their full names, you'd see them here. And then here's the ranking, and Janice was the top. And so as we played it through the different questions, you got to see, I think she and Miriam and Natalie were sort of competing throughout. So you got to see who, and of course Janice ended up the top student for this day. And then finally, I would say to try to have fun with it, because even though some of what, cover letters aren't fun, you can make them fun, and the students really did actually have fun thinking about the course concepts in a different way. So now I want to give you guys a chance to actually try out Kahoot. So you don't need to have the app. I'm going to go ahead. So here's my Kahoots. Here's the ones I created. And I created one of each just so you guys could see what they were like. And in order to, if I wanted to just say deploy one of them, I would just click play here. But instead, I'm going to check all these. And what's interesting is it actually randomizes the order of how they're presented. So I have no idea which ones are going to get first. You can see here I can say play selected, and then it will bring up, this is what the students will see. I'm going to pick classic, and it has sound effects. And so if you want to play, you can go to, oh, this is very loud. Okay, so if you want to play, you can go to kahoot.it, and it'll prompt you to put in this pin. Oh look, there's people. So that's kind of fun. You get to see people's names popping up. And I do love that it gave you that little warning, like don't use a naughty nickname or you're going to get booted out of the game. Let's start. So at this point, I'm going to click start. Oh, exciting. All right, I'm going to click start. Hopefully I'm not cutting anyone off. All right, so saying, are we ready? And we're ready. So this is a quiz question. So you can see over here, here's the countdown. It gives you the music. All right, so everyone answered. Oh, sorry, this is a survey. So most people said something like definitely try out in the classroom, hooray, and then some people picked the fun answer, which is, yeah. All right, so I click next. And if this was just a series of quiz questions, it would automatically bring up the next question. But because these are different types of questions, it kind of makes you do this slightly clunky process. But here comes the next question. Here's the jumble. So you're going to need to put these in the correct order. That's sad. All right, so I like though that you all put it in whatever order made most sense to you. That was good. According to my sort of vision of how the proper order was, 63% of you did well. So this is kind of nice because it gets to show sort of the results of the jumble. And then we can talk about why maybe you thought that you needed to panic last or enjoy an adult beverage first or whatever. We can talk about all that. And then it shows Stephanie, she's in first place. And then if you had a number of questions, it would kind of continue that ranking. So that's kind of fun. And I think the first time the students saw that, they perked right up. All right, and then that shows the leaderboard also. All right, so I'm going to try the next one. And this one will actually make the most sense to have last, but because I cannot control the order of the Kahoots. Oh, and there was no, mostly. I got really excited. All right, get results. So most people's, all right, nice. And then finally, last question. This is this a quiz? And here's a little bug. It like won't, I don't really know what this is about. Covering two of them, I can't scroll it up. It's really sad. I can't tell how excited I was to find this on Creative Commons, by the way, a picture of pollen. All right, so I think most of us are in agreement. It was the worst ever. So those are the 4 types of questions, but you can see there's kind of fun with the results, the ranking, the music. They've really done a good job of kind of making it as fun and sort of simple as possible. And we could just keep playing this forever. If I click next, it would just loop it back around again. I don't know if you guys want to just stay here for the next 50 minutes and just keep playing the same 4 questions. Probably not. But at this point, I will take any questions you have or maybe try to show you something different in Kahoot or that kind of thing. So let me know what you might want to know. Yeah.
So it seems like you can set a time for each.
Yeah, you can set a time. So I can set it for